What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Zach. This is your mental health check in with the number one question: how's your mindset? Please be 100% honest with me. No matter what it is, be 100% honest with me. And remember this: every day, every single day, each and every one of us go through something, whatever that may be. I say it like that because I don't know your situations unless you tell me. In other words, but we all go through something, and a lot of times, for a lot of people, those things that we go through can be really, really overwhelming. For me, and again, this is 100% truth. As someone being 37 now and have never been through relationship or even dates because I'm in a wheelchair. I mean, that's what I've gotten told by a lot of people, including bullies, which I was bullied 3, almost 4 times, and I've got called names. Like 1, I got called roller boy, and 2, I was called I can't think what then it was called. But my point of it is, every day people go through more than you may understand and know. And again, unfortunately, yes, there are people out there who do understand what you go through, but really, they don't give a rat's ass. And I say that because it's not them. They're not the ones that's going through it. It's you, not them. So it's like it's no skin off their back, if you know what I mean. It's no worry to them. In other words. But let me tell you something. Again, remember this: we are all 100% human, with a 100% different, but also 100% true story about us. Example, and again, this is also 100% true. It's just like what I've told you about me. As I told you, I was born with spina bifida, which is called level 1. That affects just my balance only, and that's it. And spina bifida, I mean, that's not one that can be, you can just look at a person and say, oh, they got spina bifida, or oh, they got this, or oh, they got that. Those are things that you got to go by. You got to go by what a person says. And it's like I said, I don't say it just, to get attention or, get people to feel sorry. I tell you what I tell you because it's all 100% truth. And like I said, a lot of people understand. I understand. That's great that people do understand. But then again, there's a lot of people that don't understand, again, as well. And that's why I try to teach you what I teach you. And that's why I try to teach you these things. So those that don't understand can maybe understand or get a better understanding of how things are. But then again, like I said, there's so many people that do understand what you go through. They just don't give a crap because that's not them. You know, they see you go through the situations that you go through. But again, it's no skin off their back because they're not the ones, going through it. They don't go through those situations. Or they have been through those situations like you have, but they got through those situations just fine, no problem. A lot of times I used to dwell a lot on things that I've always went through. And I would always hear, "Oh, just quit. That's behind you. That's old news." That may be true. It may be old news. But it's also something that's always stuck with me. When something happens, believe it or not, it sticks with you more than you may know. And again, a lot of people understand that. A lot of people see what you go through and they understand what you go through. And they try to help you through it. And I say try because you that's all you can do is try. You can try anything. And that's all you can do is try. Because if you never try, you never know. Again, example, also 100% truth. I'd like to, I would love to make this into a working paying job as, for me to get paid. Like I said, when I do get paid, I would love to be able to, depending on what YouTube pays me, I would like to, let's say YouTube pays me $50 or $100. Let's say YouTube pays me $100. I'll take 50 of that and put it towards something. Maybe towards a hospital, or just your regular hospital, or even a children's hospital. But what I'm saying to you is this. I don't do this just to give myself money, to help me out with bills. I do this because I love to be able to help others. And that's why I do this. As I've said many, many times, whenever I first started, YouTube, when I very first started, I do this because I love to help people. That's my mindset. Like whatever the case may be, might be, as I love to help people through anything that you or they go through at any time, or I've also been through. Because as I've said, the past can and will sneak up on you. And unfortunately, yes, it does. Now, again, some people Actually, a lot of people. The past will sneak up on a bunch. I mean, it sneaks up on a bunch on some people because we all go through something. We all have our situations that we go through. Just like I've told you all I've been through. And yeah, after 37 years, it's it's got annoying. It's got really annoying towards me as well. Uh, you know, and that's not the kind of person I am. So you never know what somebody goes through. You only know someone's name. Always, always remember that. Because we all have a 100% different, also 100% true story about us. And we only know someone's name, not the story. So whenever someone tells you, something about them, or even you hear somebody says something about them and it's years of it, remember this. If they go on about it and it's gone on for years, think about it. That's part of their story. That's what they've been through. Now, I know that's probably not easy to hear, but that's 100% truth. Just like what I've told you all, again, what I told you all about me since day one. Might not, things I've told you might not have been easy to hear. But at the same time, it's all 100% truth, unfortunately. So, with that said, again, when I'm here on YouTube, I try to, it's my goal and my duty to be able to help everybody, Every time I see a comment or subscriber, especially a subscriber, I'm going to subscribe. Or if I see, especially if I see a comment or comments, I try to read those comments and understand what that person is really saying, and try to make it a thought process and try to really grasp what that person is saying, and try to be able to put that in my mind and think, okay, this this is what this person's going through, or that's what that person's going through. And I put that situation in my mind as I'm going through it, as I'm the one that's going to go through it. Even though I'm not going through it, I'll put that situation in my mind and try to see that situation or situations as it's solved by somebody else. As somebody else sees that situation. And then I'll think, okay, this is how they're dealing with it. This is how they're dealing with it. And they're having trouble with it. Okay. Now, that same situation or situations, here's how I deal with it. And here's how I would go through it. And that's what I try to do. I try to help everybody. Like when you tell me your situation, what I mean by is I try to put it in my mind of what your situation is. So when you tell me your situation, I put it in my mind of how your situation is, and I try to see your situation or situations the way that you see them. I try to see your situations the way you see your situations. And then I come back and say, okay, here's how you were dealing with it. This is why you were having so much trouble getting through your situations. Now let's try my suggestions. How I might, the advice that I give you if I was the one going through the situations. Or, if I was going through those same situations. Because you know what? That's all it takes. It's just a little advice. That little advice can really save someone's life. Example, like I said, there's people that go through a lot of things, and unfortunately, like I said, a lot of people went through depression, and I'm one of them that went through it as well. A lot of people are not here right now because they went through depression and they felt like, we have no one to turn to. And that's where you're wrong. Because you've always got somebody to turn to. That's why I'm here. Let me have it. In other words, if you're going through something, tell me. Tell me what you go through. Let's talk about it. I'm right here every step to help you through whatever it is, anything that you go through. That's why I'm here. So whatever situation that we have, we're gonna take it head on. We're just gonna keep going, and we're gonna fight right through it. We're gonna fight right through that situation or situations. Yes, I said we are going to fight through those situations because I will do whatever I can to help you through whatever it is that you go through. Because like I said, a lot of situations, yes, I've been through myself. A lot of the same situations I've been through myself. But then again, there's also a lot of situations that I have never been through. But at the same time, even when I haven't been through it, I'll still put that situation in my mind and say, all right, here's the situation. And here's how this person or persons are dealing with that situation. But here's how I would deal with that situation. I might look at your situation and say that, okay, and see that you're having a lot of trouble getting through those situations. However, I got through those same situations that you're having trouble with. I got through them just fine. Now, I will look at your situations and say, okay, I've been through these situations. Here's what I did to get through those situations. Here's my advice. And I would give you my advice on those situations that you tell me about. So that's why I do this. But again, also, like I said, yes, I want to make this a working, paying job. For, well, two reasons. One, being the main one, is to be able to help everybody through anything that you all go through or also have been through. I want to be able to save a lot of people. You know, you can't save everyone, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would. I would save everybody if I could. But unfortunately, I'm not Superman. I I wish I had those. You know, I wish I had those kind of powers, as what Superman does. But I try to do what I can to help everybody. Because when you don't try, you just don't know what you can do. When you try, you definitely can be surprised. Because you never know it unless you try. And that's why I do this. To raise awareness of all the things that can go on. That, you know, all that people go through. And that's also why I tell you what all I've been through. Is hoping, you know, when I tell you my experiences, things that I've been through, that teaches you, you know, and tells you, look, yeah, he's in a wheelchair, but he's just like everybody else. He's a human. And yes, I've got 100% feeling head to toe, except my left leg from my a little bit below my knee down, and that's only because I've had surgery. And that was back in 2006. No, it was 2006 or 2007. You know, I had to have that one surgery. On my hand, I had to have that one hamstring surgery to learn to walk, or to help me be able to strengthen my, you know, to be able to straighten my left leg, you know, to where I can get all the way straight, to help me walk. And of course, you know, like I say, I use a walker or crutches with walking, because, like I said, my balance is still not 100%. You know, it's not. That's what like I said, that's what my spina bifida, or my level 1 spina bifida affects. Is just my balance. If it wasn't my balance, I'd be walking. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Is learn to walk. You know. So when I do these like mental health check-ins, and in any YouTube video I do, I try to raise awareness, because and show you, and I try to raise awareness and show you, look, no matter your situation or situations, you're 100% human, but they're 100% different, also 100% true story about you. So that's why I do this. And with that said, again, I do want to make this into a working, paying job, because, again, for the number one reason, I love to help people. And two is also number one is I love to help people. And again, I want to raise awareness, for everyone, and say, look, just because you see one person go through something doesn't mean you won't go through it. Everybody goes through something. Like I said, there's some things that you might know, some things, in other words, some things are visible that people go through. You know, sometimes you see someone go through, obviously, when someone's sad, you notice the tears. Or if, you might notice their attitude is not as positive as it should be, as it usually is. Um, it just, you see someone that's down in the dumps. In other words, they just not, maybe not as active as they usually are. So those are things to always look for as well. You know, um, and then, again, that's one reason why I tell you a lot of things that I do tell you, especially if I don't um, upload any YouTubes for longer than 3 days, 3 or 4 days, or depending how long it's going to be. That's why I tell you these things so you don't worry, and that Um, and that's, again, when I told you about my surgery, which is a little over a week, I think, now it is. But that's why I tell you these things, so you know, like I said, when I had my surgery, um, on my elbow, I maybe a week, if that, before I start uploading again. Um, you know, it's gonna take me a little bit to get used to um, getting back to the swing of things, um, especially after that, because right now, being in a wheelchair, like I said, this, I'm used to just using my upper body. So, yeah, if you don't see me posting here on YouTube for about a week or two after December 16th. Sorry, my mind went blank for a minute. But if you don't see me posting after a while, for a little while, um, that's why. Now, with Christmas coming up, um, as well, you know, that's right before Christmas is when I have that surgery. With that said, again, I usually do something, do a YouTube before Christmas, before Christmas. Um, and I still possibly might do that this year. That's what I'm planning, depending on how I feel, as far as pain was. Um, but I mean, we'll see. That's my plan, is to still do that like I usually do. Um, if I do, I will. If I'm feeling pretty well, at least halfway decent, not in a lot of pain, I will do that. As I usually do, like I said, for Christmas or or any holiday. or every holiday, so we'll see. Um, that's just a little bit on that. You know, again, if I don't um, do that, as I do every holiday, as I have over the last over 3 years now. Um, Even if I don't do that, that's why. But that's why I want to bring that up as well. As I'm just sitting here thinking, you know, heck, I've got that surgery coming up, and this is what's taking place. So, but even if I don't upload any YouTube videos for a little, maybe a week or what have you, maybe a week or two, I still will be replying to any comments that anybody has. And I also will be adding, posts on, as they let you do, public posts, so people can read. If anybody is on, that goes on my page, comes here to my YouTube page and wonders why I haven't posted for a little bit. Community, I think it's what's called. Unless y'all know what's going on. So I will do that. May not be the first day that I have the surgery. It might be a couple days. But I will do that as well. So, that said, keep being you. And let nothing or no one hold you back. And remember this. I'm proud of you. I'm not just saying that because it's YouTube. I mean that from my heart. I'm proud of you. My name is Zach, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate you all the views, all the likes, all the comments, all the shares, and all 664 subscribers, as I saw yesterday, that we went up. Even though it's only one subscriber, we still went up. So I appreciate y'all. Keep going. Keep being you. Much love. Stay smiling. Because a smile is one of the best things that you can do. Keep smiling. It looks good on you. My name is Zach. Keep going. Much love. And let's get it.